Alright, this is Sean White. I want to talk a little bit about this Mars and Rover fraud. NASA is nothing but one big fraud. All the way back to the moon landing, we've not gone to the moon, we're not gone to Mars, and now they're claiming, that they found a coffin on Mars. Okay, NASA's denying it and refusing to take the rover back to that area to check it out. Now, if you take a look at some of these other so-called pictures or findings on Mars, it's always been pretty obvious to me and pretty ridiculous that anybody can look at this and think that they're actually on Mars. I always joke, I'm like, it's funny how Mars looks exactly like a Nevada desert or something, and they show images like this where a rover finds life, a fossil, or something like that. Well, I was kind of looking through some images on this coffin deal and I ran across this article right here. A team of enthusiastic scientists are dressing in spacesuits and recreating life on Mars in a rocky red desert on Earth. Researchers from the Mars Society live at the simulated Martian base built with the help of American Space Agency NASA. Every time the team of 4 men and 2 women leave the Mars Desert Research Station, they must pass through an airlock. The cramped 2-story hut is situated 40 miles from Hanksville in Utah, United States, with the crew sleeping in small coffin-like beds. I thought that was pretty funny. If you take a look at this background here, you got the hills, the rocks, the landscaping, obviously desert, they're on Earth, and I find it just so unbelievable that people look at this and think that they're freaking on Mars. Hello, people. That is stone. That is Earth. That is desert. Oh man, it's all a lie. Every bit of it. Just go look at some of these pictures, the so-called pictures from these spacecrafts like rovers and stuff, and just look at the pictures. They don't even look real. They look like they're digitally done. They don't look like a legit photo. There's very few photos of Earth, like a real actual picture of Earth on the outside. And you might catch some of that footage from like the original so-called going to the moon, where they're obviously barely outside of our Earth, and they're sitting there putting the camera through the window hole to make it look like they're farther away from the Earth than they really are. It just brings up the question. It was like, do we really not have the technology? I do not believe that we can make it with people in any kind of spacecraft to the moon or anything because of radiation. Do we have the technology to send something out there, really? Maybe. But why aren't they showing us real pictures? Either we can't do it, or they don't want us to really see what's out there, because it would totally probably destroy their whole Big Bang Theory if we actually saw the magnificence of space. I don't think people would even question that this place was created. That's what I think. That's my opinion. But you decide for yourself. But this is this whole Mars deal is just a total fraud, and they'll sit there and tell you that they got this place right here. It's probably where they shoot all these scenes. Just like they probably got something set up for the so-called moon. Alright, this just proves that they do that type of stuff. So, that's all I gotta say about that. I just getting sick of seeing all this stuff about life on Mars or some other planet, and it just drives me nuts. Alright. This is all done just to push the whole alien and UFOs agenda. Because if things happen the way the scientists want to claim, so-called scientists, that Big Bang from nothing created all this, then there's no really logical reason why there shouldn't be some other life out there and in all that space. But yet it's just not there. And why is it that we're always limited to this Mars and the moon? You know, it just goes right back to this whole thing is a fraud. I don't believe scientists. There's either two things. They either know a lot more than telling us what's possible, but they also don't know hardly nothing about space and its creation. And instead of just saying that they don't know, they make up all these little fairy tale stories to go along with their agenda. Now, I do believe that people see some kind of beings and so-called UFO things, but me personally, I think they are the fallen angels masquerading as these beings. And you can look into more about that, but that's what I believe it is. And like I said, they can masquerade however they want. So yes, I do believe that's what's going on. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. But this whole Mars and Rover deal and this thing rolling around getting images on Mars is ridiculous. Guys, you saw it right there. They're in the desert and telling you they're on Mars. It's just that ridiculous.